Alright guys, this is Rachel here, just wanting to show you some of the new titles that came out with Usborne Books and More. We'll start with this little one. This is B is for Bedtime. It's a nice ABC bedtime book. You'll notice it's a nice thick hardbound book. And on the left side of the page they have the letter. So they have the capital as well as the lowercase. So A is awake, how I feel after dinner. And it's this cute little girl narrating her own bedtime story starting from after dinner all the way down to bedtime. So notice on the left side they also have another little illustration. So the dog is looking at a cute little bird. So to supplement the letter sound, they have the illustration over here along with the story that she's telling. Also the pages are nice and glossy so that if the kids spill milk on it or anything, it's just, you can just wipe it nice and clean. And also they're just nice and thick, so you don't have to worry about them flipping pages on their own and tearing it or anything. But this is just a sweet, adorable, cuddly book about this cute little girl, and she's telling her story of her bedtime routine. And at the end, she's all tired and ready to sleep. And I love at the end that they have this fun illustration the kids can just sit and look at with all of the little things that she talks about throughout the book. This is definitely a winner. We love this book in our home. Very sweet. So there's that one. I love, they've come out with this new activity book, and it's called My First Maze Book. So if you're familiar with our other maze books, they are not just your ordinary maze books. Notice all the fun illustration. They have little scenes in them. The bigger ones that we have for the older children are a lot more complex, so I love they came out with this little one for young ones that they can kind of get an idea of what the maze is about. So lots of extra things like, can you spot a ladder, a four-eyed monster, and 5 monster tails. So they have extra things in there too. Lots of fun. So that's the maze book. We have, we'll do this one. This is my very first space book. If you've seen our other video on my YouTube videos that my daughter did, she did a book look with Abby, and it's my very first castles book that she did. This is another one in that series, and we love it. So my very first space book. This one has things, it's a nice, again, glossy, you can wipe it off, and this is actually a little bit thicker of a page. It has fun little surprises like the book turning sideways so that you can get a real idea of you know, correlation of space and earth and things like that. And then they go into detail, and I like that they don't dumb down information. Instead they just simplify it. So the moon is a big ball of rock that travels around the earth. The lighter areas are tops of high mountains, and the dark patches are huge holes called craters. So I like that they use simple words like holes so the kids can understand, but they still build their vocabulary by giving them the name of the thing. We love that it talks about things like space school, what the astronauts go through. They go into detail about the rocket and how the different parts come off, and this is, you know, to help it launch, and how the astronauts lay down and they're buckled in. And anyway, lots of fun detail there. Living in space and what it's like there. All the things that they wear. Planets. We love this book. Lots of fun. Okay. This one is Lift the Flap First Questions and Answers. So Usborne has another series called Lift the Flap Question and Answers, and there's I think 4 or 5 in that series. Well, they just started this new First Questions and Answers. So this starts out, how do flowers grow? So this is again a little bit more simplified. So here's the little seed. They can lift the flaps and see plants need water, sunlight, and air, and they go through all the different steps of what the plants need. And just interesting flaps. It's not just a flap on a page, but they really go into detail to make it thrilling for the kids. And they also have not just the flaps, but finger trails. Can you follow the bee's trails? So the bee is hopping from one flower to another, and he's carrying pollen all the way there, if you can look and see that close. So teaching them, you know, what the flowers life is like from a seed, and all the different, because every flower has different type of seeds, how the seeds are inside the seed pod. This page talks about seeds. Who plants all the seeds? Do the squirrels plant seeds? Yes, by accident. They bury the seeds to eat later, but then they forget about them and they leave them alone in the soil. The seeds begin to grow. So it's a lot of fun going through this one. We've really spent a lot of time looking at this book, so we love it. How do flowers grow? With the first questions and answers. Okay, this is a little bit for older kids. 100 things to know about science. I love that they have numbered the facts. Peter Usborne was sharing this at convention, and he was talking about his grandsons, how the two of them have this book, and they like to compare, you know, like, well, what page are you, what number are you on? I'm on number 52. What about you? I'm on number 34. And they feel a sense of accomplishment that they have, you know, been able to learn that many facts for themselves. This one I'll share with you. Lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And then they go on into detail about how it's static electricity from the storm clouds. So, and notice how visually stimulating this book is. It's not just a science book, but it's adventure and fun for them to look at. So that one's 100 Things to Know About Science. The last one, this is a fun chapter book. So this is Emma Jacks and EJ12, and they're the same person. She's an undercover agent, and she also talks a lot about her life at school. So here's an idea. You can look inside to get an idea for word count. I think there's 128 pages in there, I think it was, and 126. So this one is hot and cold, and this says, the heat is on as someone seems to be melting the polar ice cap. Special Agent EJ12 needs to crack the code and keep her cool to put evildoers' plan back on ice. That's the easy part. As EJ12, Emma Jacks can do anything, so why can't she handle the school ice queen of mean, Nima? Perhaps she can after all. So finding that there's adventure in your everyday average girl at school as well as being a secret agent. So lots of fun there. Anyway, new titles. How exciting! Let me know if you have any questions. My website is www.kidsenjoyreading.com. If you're looking at this from another consultant, then be sure to go through their website. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.